Good afternoon, Forex Fargo checking in. Today is February 7th, 2020. I am just going to go over a few of the pairs that I actually happened to trade this week. Just talk about entries, some of the ones that I lost, happened to win on, so on and so forth. So I am doing this live. I'm waiting for a few people to join in. I'm not sure if there's anyone in here right now. However, I'll give it a few minutes. The following pairs I'll be going over, so we are all on the same page. GA, EA, AJ, AU, NJ, NU, and then gold to cap it off. Now, for those that are new to, my page, new to, me in general, I consider myself an intraday sniper slash a swing trader. And what I mean by that, obviously I'm a day and swing trader. So my bread and butter is usually 50 to 75 pips. I like to get in and out of a position, between 0 hours to 72 hours. I think the longest I've. What's going on? If you could just mute your mic real quick. I'm just trying to do this intro thing. So yeah, my bread and butter is 50 to 75 pips. Stop loss is usually no more than 35 pips. Swings I look for projected TPs around 100, 150, 200 pips. I had a little bit more success just sticking to my analysis and not over trading. So without further ado, I guess we're gonna start with NU and what I did see. So earlier, NU was in from a weekly level, right? Prior to us, having this drop, I thought that we were gonna retest this level. Actually, down here at the bottom, let me show you. I thought that this was like a nice support level from December, so I thought we were gonna come down, bounce off of this, and come up. So at some point, I had a buy limit set. And I'm not sure where my buy limit was set at. All I know is I put my chart one day and I took a small, like 20 pip loss on NU, probably around like this area, some shit like that. And I had the wrong sentiment, so I had the wrong direction of the pair overall. So lesson learned. Now moving on to AU, right? AU, I actually took buys all the way down here. So I wrote AU from, let me delete this so you don't get confused. I had taken buys early in the week. We had this nice little kind of like inverted hammer. I waited for like the retest around down here. So I got in on the retest on this daily level, rode this for about 75 pips. The reason I exited, I know I don't have it marked on my chart, but visually you can kind of see that there is some type of resistance right here, right? So got out of it. And then I could have entered the sell position, but I was already content with the profits and trying to stick to my trading plan of 500 pips per week. I exited this and was content with the profits, right? So that was how we took the position on AU. If I bust it down to a 4-hour, just so you can kind of see what the smaller time frames look like. So on a 4-hour, you have multiple rejections, You have probably this nice rejection down there, which is like a beautiful stop hunt. And then on a 1-hour time frame, what is it that you're looking at? What is it that I saw? I probably saw this nice, beautiful fucking bullish right here. This bullish engulfing. And for those, once again, I'm gonna upload this and everything. I try to make trading as simplistic for me as possible, right? So sometimes, my charts are marked up from previous levels, and until price reaches that level, I won't trade from it, because that's me chasing a trade. So, I didn't necessarily chase the trade on this. I noticed that if I look to the left, right? So if I go to, a daily time frame, if we're looking over here, right? Price had rejected over here again. So if I actually want to make this a lot easier for everyone. So bam, if we draw a zone from last year or something like that, right? And like I said, I took buys around right here. You can see that just keeping it since, the end of, or actually the beginning of last quarter, right? So talking about last October through December 2000. I put it down here, and this is what we call a demand zone when it lines for buys. Up here would be a supply zone. So you got one rejection, two rejection, right? And this is all on a daily. Then price returned to this level at 66,850 around so like what happened exited as we all saw, right? So that was that. In this zone also you can in this zone all the way over here as well. Zones, once again, I always say this are just larger areas of support and resistance. So if you guys are trading with, simplistic support funds, try adding a zone. Maybe it'll make it a little bit. Just try things until they work and stick out, right? So that was AU. Now, similarly on AJ, right? So as you can see, before I even delete this off of my screen, this profit, this buy position, this long position, I had been looking for longs on AJ for a long time. So last week when everyone had the right direction with like the sells, I fucking had a position on a long and it hit my stop loss 20, 24 pips, whatever it was on there. Now,
whoops, sorry, didn't realize I wasn't on mute. Apologies, sorry guys.
what's up?
All gone, bro. I just saw it on Instagram and I was like, let me join, but I didn't realize that my phone wasn't on mute. So let me just mute myself.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And one thing that I do want to point out, Nero is actually I know his voice and everything like that. Nero is here into the game and is 18, 19 years old. And if he can do it, if I can do it at 28, then anyone else can do it at whatever age. It's not necessarily about the age. Part of it has to do with age and life wisdom and experience, but a lot of it has to do with your mentality and if you're trying to better yourself. So all of you guys in here right now, being proactive and taking the 10, 15 minutes this is about to take, you guys are going to make it at some point. The same way I tapped into myself and eventually I made it, right? So and I still got a long way to go, still learning and shit like that, like a full year in, but what is consistent is, the pips, the gains, my losses, you know what I'm saying? And like the knowledge and my determination and desire to keep moving forward. But anyways,
This guy, no one believed him. This guy is way too modest.
Stop it. But anyways, right? So moving with AJ, from a monthly time frame, you can see that, just teaching people and shit like that. Once again, I try to keep it simplistic. I'm drawing this line so you can understand that like you should draw your levels from a monthly time frame or a weekly time frame and just draw them at the top of these big ass candle wicks and shit, right? So like, while I'm explaining what I did, just teaching those, this is obviously a level of resistance, right? So, the last time this level has been broken was July. Actually, the last time this level had been broken, this level has been valid since June of 2019, right? So we have one touch, two touch. That third touch that we had in December is actually the move that I had missed, right? Now going back, I took buys because it aligned properly around my trend line. I was looking for like a monthly reset, right? So like the AJ pairs, they don't usually AJ and ACAD and AU because they're like secondary pairs. Well, minus AU, that's like a primary pair, but the Australian dollar versus something and vice versa. Those pairs usually tend to move a little bit slower unless it's an EA or a GA, then those are, just super volatile, right? But anyways, I was looking for a monthly reset on a weekly time frame. You can't really see anything, but I was just one second. Trying to explain what I saw and why I took the position, but at the end of the day, like what I saw, I took the buy. I fucking exited for 120 pips or whatever. I took it from right here. Actually, no. There we go. Now it makes sense. Sorry, fellas. Right. So now here, this is what I can do. So I actually took my buy from around right here, closer to the trend line, and then exited like that. Right. So I was waiting for the price to, get closer to the trend line, blah blah blah. Took it. I'm getting kind of all right, so that was like AJ or whatever. Now GA, this is the one that like most people want to fucking see and shit, right? So GA, just understanding fundamentals real quick so everyone gets it, right? Last year GBP had did like the craziest fucking, drop and then rally and all of this other bullshit, right? But understanding what happened throughout the year is important, right? So just going back in 2019, the beginning of 2019, you know, Theresa May is pressed to give an appealing, statement or whatever like that to leave the European Union, right? However, she falls short of it, and then before she falls short of it, we see this beautiful rally on GBP pairs, like the first quarter, some shit like that, into like the second quarter. I think it ended around April or May or something like that, right? Then the moment Theresa May resigns, you see GBP goes on this destructive fucking rally. Like it drops like 1,500 points on like all of the pairs. I may be exaggerating, but you see that that does happen. Now, uh, coming up, I think it's the beginning of fourth quarter or ending of third quarter, you're seeing that there are elections starting to happen. And the elections are only happening with the Conservative Party because the Conservative Party is still in office in UK. I live in America, but I do my research and I'm not quite the idiot. I just like to act dumb. Now, in October, I believe, or somewhere around the fourth quarter, Boris Johnson wins the primary election, right? You see a fucking huge pump or whatever like that into the GBP pairs or whatever. They're rallying, they're rallying, they're rallying. You guys can all cross check this at your own time. Then we see a nice little sell off, and then what we see is we see an anticipation, and because the GBP is coming to a deal with the European Union, and they are considering moving forward and leaving them, right? You're going to see what we saw was that all of the bulls just kept that momentum, kept that momentum, kept that momentum. Now banks and everyone, no, not banks, but higher up people that are trading and shit like that understand that, fundamentally speaking, because we moved, like now look at a monthly time frame. This is what I'm talking about. So like look, so August is what I'm talking about. In the August second quarter or third quarter, we start moving, we start moving, we start moving. October, Boris Johnson gets elected, right? So from the time he gets elected all the way till January, let's see. Like I said, we move like 1,500 pips. This is stuff that I look at almost every day. So because we move 1,500 pips, there has to be some type of retracement. I don't remember what happened in December, but there was some fucking retracement or whatever, just how market structure happened. Then we happen to have this strong bullish move in January. This move was planned and everything like that. This is a 950 pip move on GA, right? So price move 950 pips, preparing for good sells. And prepping the market for a type of retracement because it's just been exhausted on so many levels. So GA, and this goes for many of the GBP pairs, I think GA, GN, and GCAD. Okay, so we see so much exhaustion on GA on a monthly time frame. Then if we look at it from a weekly time frame, we see that there is a lot of exhaustion, which you could also do too, since we have broken this to a weekly time frame. And I did not notice this because this would have been marked on my chart, but the last time, always looking left, the last time we broke these highs have been almost 4 years ago, literally 3.5 years ago, June 2016. Okay. So because we've seen so many volatile movement in the market wasn't going to break past this level because it hadn't been past this level in like in almost 4 years, call it, right? So that's why I was looking for the retracement. What I happened to do, I actually was in a sell earlier on Friday, last Friday, but I got stopped out like 25 pips or whatever, and was kind of pissed when I woke up on Monday and noticed that like the position would have been in like 100 or something pips. But not to fret, not to worry. I didn't chase the trade. I have an imaginary zone like on my thing. This imaginary zone was kind of like above this level. I got in right over here on this retest, as you can see on the daily level, right? So I got in on this retest and I rode this for about 200 pips or something like that. And then I had a few intraday positions like 50, 75. Then I had another one that hit for like 100 and something pips. I'm being modest. This is just I just try to trade as easy as possible. You don't need to work and fillet like 20 pairs like I used to do and shit like that. You can literally trade 2 pairs the entire week, bro, and still catch the same amount of pips. And you don't even have to open multiple positions. You can open one position and just take partials along the way, which is something I always preach. Now, looking from a 4 hour perspective, we can see, and I remember all of this happening. I knew that the RBA rate was going to stay the same, but knowing that the RBA rate is going to stay the same, price could have went in either direction. But if we're looking, during New York session, I noticed that price wasn't breaking above this level right here. So pretty much right above my zone, top of these candle wicks, price wasn't breaking above it. I was hesitant, so I opened up a sell limit. The sell limit didn't get hit, so I opened up a manual position like a minute or two prior to the news coming out. Same thing I did on EA, but we're on GA. And then, like I said, I had a position that had closed right here for like 145 or something. Another position that had closed on the retracement up here. I actually opened another position because, I'm just following the trend. I understand that sometimes during pre-London, because I usually trade during London sessions. Sometimes during pre-London, price likes to, a lot of people call them, long story short, they call stop hunts. Order blocks, whatever you like to call them. Price likes to go to a higher day or lower day or weekly low or highly low before continuing the trend. And that's something that I've always noted in my trading, right? Which is why you see all of these wicks similarly like at the same levels and stuff like that. Um, contrary, real quick before I get into, so we took the position, it was like this, right? So that's how we took that. Now, another thing too, if we entered on Monday and rolled this all the way until Thursday, Wednesday, or whatever, you could have caught 500 pips, right? But because I didn't catch my original entry or I got stopped out of my original entry, I didn't trade this pair again until I felt comfortable, until it was like at one of my levels, So I want people to get more in the habit of trading with what you feel comfortable with. Like, who the fuck cares about social media, bro? There are weeks where like I could go the next 3 weeks and not post anything forex related on my Instagram, right, on my social media. But you guys are still gonna know I'm trading because you see how serious I take this, right? And I just want you guys to know that, like, it's not about the people. Forex is a self game. I can be a mentor. I'll drop a course. You can buy my course, but at the end of the day, it's you versus you. It's you versus your trading plan. It's you versus your risk management. It's you versus the dollars you have. It's you versus your own psychology. You know what I'm saying? It's not you versus the market, dog. The market's going to do what the market is going to do. You just need to make sure that you are prepared for either situation. And moving forward, it took me a long time to get prepared for both situations. I just used to be like, all right, cool, this is gonna happen, and not have a stop loss and shit. My man, like, there was one time I didn't have a stop loss, and like I actually exited a position at like 150 fucking pips, like negative. You know what I mean? Like, there's times where I traded news with a buy stop, and this is facts, bro. I traded news with a buy stop. I think it was GA and EA on a buy position. I was already in a buy position, and I knew that price was gonna go up another like 300 pips or whatever, right? Yo, I got played so much. My buy stop opened, and then it hit my stop loss. So like did it because price moved so fast or whatever. My stop loss got opened at like my buy stop, or however, I don't know. It's hard to fucking explain to some shit like that. But like, I lost some bread, and like, at that moment I was really upset, and I had to decide if this is what I wanted to do and keep moving forward, if I wanted to fucking cry about it. And like, there are moments where you're gonna have to charge it to the game, and I'm gonna just tell you that off rip, okay? So if you can't charge it to the game, then like, this is not for you. But there are also never losses, there are lessons. So like, what is it that I learned from burning myself so many times that like I don't want to do that moving forward? All right, so enough about GA, moving to EA. On the weekly time frame, right? EA, this one was like a little bit more obvious, right? You can, draw this up there. You can just draw levels. you know, so either one, it doesn't matter. So like I actually prefer to do that so people can follow the candle wick. So once again, December, we haven't broken past this level. Let's just talk about the amount of rejections that we've had. Okay, everyone knows what a rejection is. It's just a wick up. So you get one rejection, two rejection, three rejections. You have this close above it, right? But like now, if we're looking at it from a daily perspective, okay, we see that this kind of seemed like a fake out. I wasn't buying it. I waited for price to kind of like get below it. So like we had like a close, and then all of these candle wicks right here. These rejections were like good for me. I still didn't enter that position until about right here, actually. So I entered my EA position right here, which was better for me. So, narrow, just bringing you up real quick, um, drop, base, rally, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, like I was looking at the video early and shit, and I didn't realize that that's sometimes how I trade. I didn't know what it was called, but yeah, so you see the drop up here at the top, you see the base, the what is it, the accumulation phase, and then like you just see like it moving from there. So from my position when I got in, it was a clean move and it was like a 200 pip move to the downside. And I had a couple more positions over there. Another thing as well, just looking for it. I did have this zone that I guess I'll draw over here, right? And without me even opening up my chart. So like when you get good at this, you'll realize if you look to the left and if price didn't break this level, this is why I exited, right? So like we all can see like before I even just extended the zone, price never broke this level. It never broke this, previous recent low, whatever high, whatever fuck you want to call it or something like that, right? I can't remember what it's called right now, but I think it's the previous low. So because we didn't break this and we were just wicking down, I exited. I could have bust this down to a 2 hour or a 1 hour to look at the price action. You know what I'm saying? Look at the dojis, look at this two up, two down, whatever that price action pattern is called. But like I said, you don't want to chase trades. You want to take the trades that are high probable for you. What makes you feel good and shit like that. You don't want to burn yourself because like burning yourself is not gonna be in your best interest. It's gonna be a battle of you versus yourself, like, oh man, like how come I did this, how come I did that, blah blah blah. Like I could have caught way more pips or whatever like that, but like it's not about that. You know what I'm saying? Like moving forward, I'm actually trying to build my confidence. And for those that follow me and don't know, like, you know I myself trade with 0.20s and under. I've been trading for a year consistently, so like I'm okay with that. But I beat myself up this week when I told myself I was actually going to open a standard lot size on AJ and AU just because they move, a little bit slower. And I just, you know, when you really believe in yourself, just take the leap of faith. You're never gonna know unless you try. You know what I'm saying? So like I'll just leave that there. You're never gonna know unless you fucking try. Right. So off of the 3 pairs that I just showed you, we lost 20 pips so far. I mean 5 pairs. We lost 10 pips, 20 pips on NJ. What is that? NU, I mean 75 pips gained on AU, 75 on AJ. GA we gained about 200 and then 220 on EA. Now I want to go to gold, right? Because gold is very tricky. All right. Now understanding what's going on. One, my chart has been like this. If y'all just followed me, my chart, I posted this chart last Saturday or last Friday before this move happened. So before this big sell-off already happened, I kind of anticipated price was going to come back down here, but I thought it was going to happen last week, which is why you didn't see me catch any of this sell position. I was just waiting for price to get down here. Now, long story short, if we're busting at it from a weekly time frame, right, we understand that globally, like global events affect gold. Follow KinFX Freak for that if you want to get all into the fundamentals. I don't really follow them too close. I just hear what I hear. But moving forward, we can see that in the beginning of the week we had kind of like a nice little weekly reset, right? Price didn't break above this level, right? So we had a nice wick up, no close above, no close above, no close above, right? So we had a nice opportunity to take sells at the beginning of the week. once price opened up on Sunday, we were like at all-time highs right here, right? So you had this nice little, I don't know what this pattern is called. I don't even think that I see a pattern right there, so I'm not even gonna try to bullshit it. But I could have took sells the moment I saw that, so you understand how my trading is set up. I personally could have taken sells once this 4-hour candle validated that it broken all through my zone. Then at the bottom of this, so you understand moving forward, at the bottom of this 4-hour thing, I would have put, this little horizontal line, little resistance line, support line, whatever you want to call it, and just counted how many rejections we had, right? So we had 3 rejections, and that would have been enough for me to enter 1, 2, and then 3 right here, right? So upon this third rejection, I probably would have took the entry at 1580, which is a key level for gold. You can see how many times price has kind of flirted with that level, so on and so forth. So from 1580, I could have been in this position, and I could have caught it right there on the downside. But I don't care for that. You want to know why? Because I told you guys earlier in the week I was eyeing buys, right? And I even screenshotted the convo with someone. I even have this trend line down here. Look at it, bounce perfectly off of the trend line. How many wick rejections? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Early in the week though, I actually did get burned on gold during this 4-hour candle. Right during this 4-hour candle right here, I was caught in this mess. So here, I'm just doing like another circle, but like around like that small circle I just did right there. I told you guys I had a buy limit at 1560. My buy limit got hit, but thank God for the stop loss. You know what I'm saying? Because like the stop loss like stopped me from losing like some more money than I intended to. But at the end of the day, what is 30 pips compared to 150 pip gain and 75 pips? You know what I'm saying? Like it's really nothing. That's why like you got to find out what works for you, and developing a strategy is easy as what works.
Yeah, this should be quite a lot about money.
What happened, boss? I don't.
Madness, bro.
If y'all got any questions, I guess you could turn your mic off. I'll spend like 5 minutes answering questions real quick on, I guess, on any one of these pairs: NU, AU, AJ, GA, and gold. And then I'll upload this to YouTube. Any questions? Oh, okay. All right. So, if we have any questions, what I will say is everyone just keep practicing. Head down. You guys can back test if you want. You know what I mean? Like I'm not against it. Don't do it that often. I mean, like the reason why I don't back test is like I prefer to limit my life. And like maybe if I can back test, like I can have like super duper strategies like 4 times and turn on this. Like I'm not trying to do that. You know what I mean? So like that's why you just gotta put in some of the work
For
yourself.
Frontier, Alaska, and Virgin. Yeah.
So I'm locking out. It seems like everyone is on a lunch break and enjoying the rest of their day. It's like 1 o'clock, 1:30. So actually start some errands and Forex go out. What I will say,
Hold tight, bro. Hold tight.
you know what I'm saying? I'll be like oh, bam. And then we'll leave that like that. I don't even know where the fuck that went. Anyways, you saw what I was trying to type. Thank you all for the commitment. Thank you all for paying attention. Whatever. Hopefully you learned something. And if I get enough, like I said, like to it, I don't really try to do it for the likes, but I like knowing people are paying attention. So if you want to, I'll do like a poll. Plus more than like 25, 30. I'll do another. All right. So for that.